All right, so I saw a post yesterday and I thought I would make a quick video to explain what I'm doing here. The post was Ansible and Arista, and I have a lot of experience with Ansible and Arista. And they say that we've been a Cisco shop replacing aging switches with Arista. I have been using Ansible for managing Cisco switches for some time, and I've also been able to use Ansible for EOS. Ansible works great with EOS for configuration changes, but I'm having a hard time to get my update scripts to work. There seems to be a lot less documentation on Ansible and Arista than Cisco. I don't know if I would agree with that. I think it's pretty well documented, but there are some common things that you run into when you're going from one platform to the other. And so they posted, they've got a playbook and they've got the output, and they're trying to get the state. They want to get, so here's the state, and it says disabled, or is it connected, or whatever. So they want to be able to get the state, presumably so that they can do some other types of something after that. So if the state is disabled or whatever. So let's see how we can get the information that we want out of the device. So I've actually got an environment here. I've got leaf 1 and leaf 2, and I did put them into an MLAG pair. So we can go into leaf 1, and if I do show MLAG, here's the output of the command that he's looking at, and right now our state is active and our negotiation status is connected. So probably I think we probably want that one, not just state. But so here's some information. We want to put that into a simple variable so that we could possibly do like a conditional on it. Now, I think here's where the confusion is. It looks like this is a key value pair, kind of like state, and then we have colon and then disabled. This is not a key value pair. This is unstructured output that he's seeing. So this, in the Cisco world and in the Arista world, the outputs for show commands are what's known as unstructured or very loosely structured. So if I do show IP interface brief, for example, I see I've got all these IP addresses. They're in a table format, and it's easy for the human to read, and that's fine. Most of the time when we're doing this kind of interaction on the CLI, we're doing interactive user, this is the output we want because it's easy for us to read, but it's not very easy to parse from a computer's perspective. So what we want is we want structured output if we can get it. And both Cisco, at least with NXOS, can give you structured output in terms of XML. With Arista, it's JSON. So I can do this command and I can pipe it through JSON, and now I've got structured output. These are dictionaries and key value pairs and lists and everything. So this is the kind of thing that we want. So in your playbook, so here's the playbook right now. So I'm going to run this playbook. So run it from here. Ansible playbook, show MLAG. This is the exact output that they were seeing. And it's basically what it is it's the same as the show command, just the regular show command, the unstructured show command. And it puts each line of the command into an item in a list. So it's just line by line by line. So there's no structure to it whatsoever, except that it's chopped it up into individual lines. So if I wanted to see the line, well, here's the key, standard out lines. So let's try to see this here. So I would do standard out lines. I think that's what we want. Let's see what happens. Standard out lines. Don't think this is going to work, and I'll show you why in a second here. Oh, it did work. Okay, never mind. So now we've got the lines, and it's just each line. Now I could specify a line starting from 0. It just prints out that, oh, that's the output of the first command. So the standard out lines, this is the first command that we issued. Usually there's only one command. Because I could also do like show IP interface brief. Let's see what we get here. So if I did 0, it would just show me show mlag. And if I did 1, it would just show me show IP interface brief. So the first, after standard out lines, the first is looking for a list. And lists are always start from 0, and they're just numbered. There's no key value pair for a list. It's just a number. So it's the first command, second command. If I did the, so first command, second command, third command. Remember, everything starts from 0. So if I run it again, I get nothing because I only issued 2 commands. So let's go back to 1 command, and I get the show mlag. And then I add the second thing, and this will give me the first line. Or maybe, how about the 11th line? No, not the first line, second line. So that's the second, that's the 11th line. Remember, again, it starts from 0. So this is not very useful. I mean, I could write some Python or some regex to try to parse this, but there's a shortcut. Arista does, like I showed you, give us structured output, and structured output's much, much easier to deal with. So we're going to add a output JSON. So this is going to tell, I think it's there. This is going to tell the switch to give us a structured output. So let's see if we can do that. We'll go back to just standard out lines. So there we go. So now we've got this nice structured, you can see there's key value pairs, and 0 will give us the first command because we only did 1 command. And if I did another command, we can do multiple lines here. So show IP interface brief. And then we also did output JSON for that. And I could say, what's the result of the second command I issued? And there it is there. Oops. Yeah, I'll show IP interface brief. So we're just going to go back to mlag. And now we need to specify the first one. And now we can look in to see what we want to get. We'll look in the structure. And the next one, we can just specify a key. And the key will be negotiated status. I think that's probably one you want. And then that should give us connected. No, there you go. So that's how you interpret and run these commands. It is very similar in the Cisco. So most of the vendors have what's a command module that allows you to issue arbitrary commands and then get the results. The trick, though, depending on the vendor, is whether or not they support structured outputs. If they do support structured outputs like XML or JSON, that's fantastic, and it becomes very easy to work with. But not every vendor supports a structured output, which can get a little bit annoying. I think Ansible, Arista, so show IP interface brief. We can pipe it through JSON. Is there an XML? Yeah, there's no XML. Is there a YAML? No. So so that's how we work with it. I don't remember what the iOS XE does or XR, but I know NXOS can output in XML, and then EOS will output in JSON if you tell it to, and that makes it much easier to work with. Anyway, I hope you found this useful, and thank you for watching.